He says, take my yoke upon you. Take my yoke upon you. Okay, so Jesus says we get this rest by taking his yoke upon ourselves. So what is this yoke? What is this yoke thing? And how do we take it upon us? Okay, so hint, it is not this, this yoke. This is a big part of my life because we have hundreds of chickens. And so I sell farm fresh eggs to everyone. So anyway, it's not this kind of yoke. You know what it is? It is this kind of yoke. Y-O-K-E. And so if you're not familiar with what this is, this farm implement, this old farm implement, it is actually a wooden bar that is usually used to attach two animals together like this. And it allows the two animals, usually like a pair of oxen or horses, and it allows them to pull together on a load, a very heavy load that just one of them by themselves would not be able to pull. And it does this because the yoke divides the weight of whatever the two animals are pulling. Okay, so it allows them to pull something very, very heavy a lot more easily than they could if they didn't have that distribution of the weight that the yoke provides. So notice this, it only works if both of the animals move forward. Okay, so if one animal stands still and the other tries to move forward, then the yoke will it'll get crooked and he won't be able to get very far. Okay, so it won't work that way. And the two animals that are in the yoke, they certainly can't go in opposite directions. So the only way it works is if both animals move forward. And they have to move forward together at the same pace. Okay? Remember that, because that's why Jesus uses this particular image to talk to us about how to enter into his rest. So why would Jesus say that in order to get to his rest, we have to put something on ourselves, that the only way it works is if we walk forward? Okay, so this is how this idea of rest is really different than the way we think of it in our culture. Okay, because you would think rest, okay, don't I just need to sit down or lay down or something? Rest, right? Not do anything. But that's not how you enter into the rest of God. Okay, something is required of you. So that is why Jesus is using this image of a yoke, because it works very similarly to the way a physical yoke works that is used for farming like this. Okay, and that is that Jesus is inviting us to walk alongside him. Okay, to walk alongside Jesus, right next to him, match his pace. We have to be right next to him. And if we do that, if we accept his invitation, then he is promising that he will yoke himself up to us, just like this. If we say, yes, Jesus, I want to do this, he's going to put that yoke. So it's not just us being in a yoke. He's in a yoke too also. So we are yoked together with Jesus. What a beautiful image. But the only way it works is if we both move forward together. So Jesus is inviting you and me and everybody to get into this kind of situation with him, and he will stay right with us. He will walk right with us, alongside us through our lives. That means he's going to be there through the good times and through the bad times. And he promises that he is going to be yoked with us. That means he's carrying at least half of the weight. And I'm going to tell you that he carries a much heavier load than we do if we let him. And so this is how this works. But it's important to remember that we have to carry our side of it as well. We have to move forward with Jesus. If we're yoked to him, we can't run out ahead of him, doing our own plans, going our own way. But we also can't sit down and try to be a freeloader, and let him do all the work. We have to be right there, walking alongside Jesus. That's how it works. And how do we do that? Practically, how do we do that? We do that by observing the Sabbath rest as it was intended by God, and prioritizing our relationship with Jesus. That's how we do it.